All right, let's hop right in. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Blunt Politics. I'm Boston Brian. It is April 6th, 2025, the day after a huge change, a huge momentum shift in this country, after millions and millions, and not only in this country, but worldwide, people were protesting Donald Trump, Elon Musk. It was an absolute pleasure to be with anybody who showed up in Boston, to see the amount of people that were out there was truly inspiring, and one of the uh, better things I've done in my life. I can say that. So before I get into all of that, let's bring in the chat, the Chizzy. Let's bring in the Chizzy and say hi to everybody. Nordez already, right off the bat. Look at that. Look at you go. Look at you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hi, Susan. Hi, Ian. What's going on, Sylvia? Adam, what's up, my dude? What's happening, brother? Thank you for your services. Patui, Steve. Wes, what's up, brother? Boston did turn out. Boston absolutely turned out. I've seen, people are throwing around numbers. Obviously, nothing's really confirmed yet as far as how many people were there. I've heard anywhere from 10 to 50,000 people, and I would be very, very surprised if there was any less than 40,000 people there. I've been to Patriots rallies, Patriots parades, Red Sox parades. I think in 2019 we had 1.5 million people in Boston, right? So we had to have at least 40,000, 50,000 people. It was crazy. New York, Chicago, DC, everywhere. Oh, look at these. Look at this. Jodes, thank you so much. Howdy. Thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Jerry, thank you so much. Here for you. We're here for you too. Yvonne coming in with 5 gifted. Thank you, Yvonne. You guys are fantastic right off the bat. What's up, Neil? What's up, Jen? What's up, Jason? David? Lynn? What's going on, guys? Beth? Hi, Nina. Alyosha, what's up, brother? What's up, Bonnie? Andrea? Let's go. All right, so funny enough, I had it all. You can't write this shit. You really can't write this shit. I had it all set up where I was going to show you all the videos that I took at the rally yesterday, but for some reason on my phone does not want to connect to the laptop. All morning it's been connecting. All morning I've been going through the videos, but as of right now, it just does not want to connect. So I don't know how to actually get the photos up on the laptop. So I'm kind of screwed in that regard. Yes, KJ, let's go. If you guys showed out anywhere, let me see the hands up in the chat. Let me know if you were out and where you were out yesterday protesting. Please throw that in the chat too. I'd like to see how many people were out actually being active, and how many people, where you guys were from, where you guys are representing, how many different states and towns. I know there was smaller protests all over the place. I know the bigger protests got a lot of the coverage. But I mean, there was another protest not far away from the massive one in Boston, right? So that kind of gives you an idea of how many people were pissed off. And a lot of people are using this moment to get out the frustrations they have with the federal government for years now, right? And it is just boiling over now with Donald Trump's second administration, deporting legal American citizens, deporting non-citizens, but legal non-citizens, right? People on the path to citizenship, people on the path to asylum, but have not obtained that yet. They're not illegal, right? I think Sam Cedar did a great job on the Pretty Big Dickhead podcast with PBD, giving him an example of like, listen, you're right. When you came into this country with your parents, right? You were not automatically a citizen right away. Right? You came in legally. You came in through legal means, right? Port of entry, ship, Ellis Island, right? Wherever it may be. But you're not a citizen yet, right? So there's a difference. You're here legally, but you're not a citizen. So you're in that kind of gray zone, right? You're in that gray zone. But in that gray zone, you should have protections. You can't just be picked out of the crowd and removed and thrown into an El Salvadorian fucking prison, right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate you becoming a new member, buddy. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is the weirdest thing to me. I don't understand. Because it's not charging. Maybe it's the connection on that. I don't like it. It should, right? I mean, it's plugged in. Because that's going to be a problem, because that's what I was going to show you. So that might have an effect on the show. Not going to lie to you. 3rd. Let's go. Let's see in the chat where everybody is from. Let's go. Let's see. Wow, you guys are everywhere. New Hampshire, Marin County, Cheyenne, Binghamton. Let's fucking go. DC. Good to see that you guys are out there. St. Paul, Minnesota. I was protesting from my home, and I live in a small place. Don't worry about it, Sylvia. Anywhere you were protesting, anywhere you were showing out. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much again. Again, thank you, Carl. But I'd like to. All right, let's get into this then. Fuck it. Can't sit here all day trying to figure out how to do that. Let's just take a look at some of the coverage of the rally yesterday. See if I can show you guys this. Present. Share screen. No, no. Okay. 1 second. Let me put that up there. Pause. There we go. All right, can you guys see that yet? Is that on the screen? It is not on the screen. Let me put it on the screen for you. Bam. What is it? There we go. All right, here we go.
Or not moving.
Zip it. I don't want to hear it. I want to skip it. All right, so this is just a little bit of the coverage. Dismiss
protesters
of the protest yesterday in Boston,
Massachusetts, taking to the streets of Boston, protesting against the Trump administration, as well as Elon Musk, their policies, and recent government cuts. Good evening, I'm Darren Botello. Tens of thousands of people showing up for the march today in Boston. The popular rock band Dropkick Murphys also playing a set for the attendees. And we've got team coverage tonight on this big event. We start with our Mary Marcos. She joins us live from the Common with more on the protesters. And Mary, what did they have to say?
Well, Darren, this has to be one of the biggest protests I've ever covered. People came out for a range of issues in the country. They say they
the biggest protest she's ever covered.
Hardly recognize.
After a rallying cry surrounding the bandstand.
We, the people, mean.
This is literally, this shot right here is literally taking from where the fuck I was standing. I was standing right there. This might actually be my footage, but for some reason, just I don't show up anywhere in any of these things. I couldn't have been any closer.
Everyone.
More than 10,000 people marched from the Boston Common to City Hall Plaza Saturday to send the Trump administration a message.
Ordinary America doesn't think this is okay. They want hands off.
The people united.
This one of more than 13.
I might have even started that chant. That might have been fucking the chant I started.
1,500 hands-off protests across all 50 states demanding an end to what organizers call tyranny.
Ed Markey, there he is. Mr. Markey mixing on the ones and twos, baby.
And fascism.
This is our Boston Tea Party for this generation.
Yeah, like, you know what? I love what the guy says. I really do. He says it's this generation's Boston Tea Party, but all right, you know, I get it. People are out in force. If you showed up,
as our government is being pulled apart, we want to fight for it.
If we don't get it.
The values they're fighting to resurrect, written on tombstones at Boston's third oldest.
I like this. Check this out. This was a good touch when I walked by these things.
Cemetery. Here lies free speech, Social Security, international alliances, cancer research, the global economy, due process, the Constitution, checks and balances, reproductive rights, climate science, trans rights, and education for all.
Well, I'm living in a time where my daughter is approaching less rights than I had. And it's just a very scary time. It's absolutely insane. I'm 26. I'm tired of living through historical events. It's exhausting.
Despite deep concerns for their country, people are finding comfort in community.
I'm really, really proud of our Massachusetts family. I don't think that there would be anywhere else that I would rather be.
I think everybody there that I spoke to kind of had that similar sentiment. Like, I know we expected a lot of people to show up, but for that many people to show up, I mean, we literally was standing still for must have been a good 25 minutes just trying to get to the road to even start marching down to the State House. I mean, it was pretty cool to see. It was really, like I said, inspiring. The fact that even with the rain, right? People were standing in the pouring rain, listening to the Dropkick Murphys. Shout out to the Dropkick Murphys, right? What do we got? We got something for you. We got something, right? All right. But they played. It was wonderful. People didn't care about the rain. We had, everybody seemed to dress for the weather. It was good. It was good. It was good. I appreciated it. So let's check out one more coverage, one more of these covering, I believe it was all of the protests. Let's see here. Oh no, maybe it was the Boston one again. Check this out. Ba-dum-bum. All right, stop. Let me share this for you guys. Put this on the screen for you. I don't know why they make you click so many goddamn things. All you gotta do is do one freaking thing. Alrighty. Let's rock and roll. Let's check this out. I just want to watch a couple minutes of it. See, Channel 5, right?
Organizers scheduled rallies in all 50 states today. Now, organizers say hands off is a term targeted at the White House. Big crowds were expected in Boston today, and they started on Boston Common.
Hands off! Hands off! Our democracy! Hands off! Hands off! Our social justice! Hands off! Hands off! Our economy!
Big crowds holding hands-off signs surround the Parkman bandstand. What do you want in their hands?
We were jamming out. It sounded like a New Orleans Mardi Gras festival. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Everything. Women's bodies.
I am literally right. See this guy with the mask? I'm literally behind him somewhere. Right in this generally. I don't even think you can see my mouse, but behind the lady's left, like to the left of her head, you see the guy in the black mask? I'm not far behind him. Not far behind him, which is crazy.
Security, trans kids. I mean, he's just going after everybody.
Then groups of people with disabilities lead the way down Tremont Street to City Hall Plaza, where Boston police say 25 to 30,000 people.
So they say 25 to 30.
Came to hear more about today's theme.
We are here today to tell.
Oh, guys, I forgot a show note, too. We also got Philip Bitner coming in the second hour to chat about the latest happenings in Ukraine. Totally forgot to mention that at the beginning. I do apologize. So stick around for the second half of the hour. We'll be joined by the one and only Philip Bitner, live from Kyiv. So, yeah, stick around for that.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk, hands off our rights. Hands off.
So Ed Markey, Ayanna Pressley, Michelle Wu, the Dropkick Murphys. We had the Rev out there. I'm blanking on, unfortunately, the young lady's name in the pink coat, but she was fantastic as well.
Off our healthcare. Hands off our jobs. Our Social Security.
We welcome all voices, especially when they're dissenting, because the people here believe in free speech.
Musical acts are part of the rally on City Hall Plaza.
I mean, come on. Somebody's going to tell me that's 10,000 people. You're out of your tree.
And the crowd stayed, expecting to hear about Tufts grad student Rumeysa Ozturk and her arrest.
This is the young woman that was taken by ICE here.
ICE agents in Somerville last week.
For those who don't know, Rumeysa has never been charged with a crime. This happened to her because she published an op-ed a year ago in the Tufts student newspaper.
Don't tell us everything is fine. Who stand with us?
Others came to hear Boston band Dropkick Murphys in support of the Hands Off rally in Boston.
I want their hands off my body. I want their hands off my money. I want their hands off my country. And I want our country back.
Despite today's large crowd, Boston police say there were no arrests, but Hands Off organizers in Boston say there will be more rallies later this spring and early summer. Live on Boston City Hall Plaza, I'm Ted Wayman, WCVB, News Center 5.
So just a little bit of coverage.
Warm water to help me lose weight.
Shut up.
My friends
What's playing
laughed
right now?
at me.
There we go. All right, so let me get out of this. Let me get out of this. All right, let me check this one out too. I think this was from these are that's cool too. That's cool too. That's cool too. All right, so let me go back to here. What I want to check out is a little bit of the reaction. Let me see if I can find some reaction to the protest by the right wing, because I'm sure they've had something to say about it, right? I think when you have that many people on the street, you have to take notice. You have to take notice, especially where this isn't like a one-off event. They were already talking at that event about the next time that we were going to have a protest. I believe it's at the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken, is the next time that they were planning on doing another event. I'm not sure if it's going to be as large or about the same thing, but to keep this momentum going is really important. So let's see if we can find any of these idiots that decided to talk about it, or any of these idiots decided to say anything at all. Hassan speak? No, that's not it. All right, let's go here. I don't know. ABC. Did they cover the nationwide one where like Eric Swalwell spoke? Let's see here. I know Eric Swalwell and a few of them spoke at one of the rallies. Here, can we take a look at this? Yeah, let's take a look at this. I'd rather take a look at this than right wingers anyway. Yeah, let me put this on the stage for you. Share screen. Put that on. How you doing? Make it big. So this was, in DC. So this was the hands-off one in DC. There's Al Green. Let's go, brother. Let's go, my man. All right, so let me make it this, and then we'll play it. Oh, you know what? It would be great if you could see it.
We've seen a lot of people cave.
Let me put it back for you guys. Sorry.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like. This is what it looks like. We've seen a lot of people cave to fascism in America. We're not. We've seen the CEOs cave. Will you cave? We've seen the law firms cave. Will you cave? We've seen the colleges cave. Will you cave? We can't cave. My name's Eric Swalwell. I'm the son of a cop, a mom who was a baker, and I went to college as the first in the family on a soccer scholarship. And before every big game, before every season, the coach would tell us, I want you to close your eyes and think about, what does that last moment of the game look like? And I want you to think, as we begin this season of democracy, what does the last moment of this march look like? We win. That's what it looks like. It's justice. It's redemption. It's accountability. And it's renewal. Because as you stand here right now, we have gone from a Trump slump to a Trump train wreck. We are going into a red recession. Our 401ks are 201ks. Our costs at Walmart and Home Depot and Target.
Well, Wes, if he's saying stuff like this, I think it's worth repeating every time, no? I don't give a shit if he says the same thing every time. If he's talking about rights, gaining our rights back and making sure people aren't being deported and, making sure the stock market isn't being intentionally crashed by morons and making sure we're not, trying to take over Greenland and Canada and bomb Mexico and, go to war with people. If that's the message, it's worth repeating. So I'm all for him saying the same thing.
Where 4 out of 5 of the things we buy are from overseas are going up. And where is Donald Trump? He's golfing.
I mean, that's, again, everybody's heard of the story where Donald Trump was golfing as opposed to greeting and receiving, the U.S. military soldiers that were killed in Lithuania. So instead of receiving the soldiers, what does Donald Trump do? We all know he'd rather spend, $14, $15, $16 million or something like that planning a golf trip. No, he'd rather spend his week with the Saudi blood money at Live, which is just a direct spit in the face, I think. Even if he didn't receive the soldiers, to then spend that time with, again, Saudi blood money put into Live at those tournaments is just disgraceful, and should send a clear message to everybody on where his heart really lies and what he actually cares about. It's not that hard to see. Let's see. Jump calls. And then we heard, Donald Trump is actually moving the United States in such a fucking backwards direction. It's pushing countries together that have been, let's say, not friendly towards each other for fucking generations, right? When you have, what was it? Japan, China, North Korea, right? When they're getting together to hash out deals in any way, something's gone very wrong, right? Let's see. I put out because I think it was Japan has actually killed a Korean queen. They've invaded Korea back in the Shingunate, right? Let's see here. The Japanese killed anywhere between 10 and 14 million people between 1895 and 1945. The Japanese committed the most heinous atrocities against the Chinese people in Nanking, right? So this history between these places, knowing that, and then knowing it's like, okay, well, can we put that aside because this fucking guy in the White House is a nut job, and if we don't do something, if we don't protect ourselves, if we don't insulate ourselves and start separating from the United States in any way we possibly can, or retaliating against the United States tariff wise or tax wise or trade wise, then we're at risk of this madman. So we're actually pushing countries together. Let's see here. Instead of they should bring it up. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, this should work. This should work. Where are you? So this. Oh, no volume.
Editor at the Bulwark. I'm joined by Ben Parker, one of the great cogs in the machinery over here. We're here to talk about the dignified transfer that is happening, sadly, today, Friday, involving 4 U.S. troops who died in a training exercise in Lithuania. The reason we're talking about it is that Donald Trump, President of the United States, is not attending. Donald Trump will be down in Florida. He's at his golf club. I believe right now it is reported that he's going to be at an event and trying to, I guess, negotiate a settlement between the PGA Golf.
So instead of receiving United States soldiers, the fallen soldiers, right? His fucking mindset is to host a live event and try to negotiate between the PGA and live. That's what's important. That's what he's spending millions of dollars doing. That's what he's spending his time doing. That's what he's thinking about. That's what he cares about. Screw the soul. I mean, they're suckers and losers anyway, as Donald Trump would call them, right? Why the fuck would I receive a loser? Why would I receive a sucker? It's their fault for going and doing the training. What the fuck were they doing over there in the first place? They shouldn't have been, sacrificing their livelihood back in the United States to make sure that, the people in this country remain safe. Right? It's what a bunch of morons to do that. I'm not going to receive them. I like people that don't die. I like people that don't get captured in war. Right? This is the mindset of Donald Trump. Right? We heard him talking about John McCain. I like people that don't get captured. Well, fuck you, because if you don't risk your life, if you don't get out there, right? If you're not out there to begin with, you can't get captured. You fucking cowardly piece of shit, Mr. Bone Spurs. Right? So people that have been captured have actually put themselves out there to begin with. So you better show them some fucking goddamn respect, especially if they escaped, right? Especially if they were shot fucking down out of their plane, right? Injured, beaten, tortured. At the Hilton Hanoi, right? Famously a not nice fucking place to be during Vietnam if you were a U.S. soldier captured. So let's see if we'll just let him finish.
Live golf to warring factions in the golf wars. He also has I believe, a fundraiser tonight at Mar-a-Lago. $1 million per person fundraiser tonight at Mar-a-Lago. That way,
$1 million per person. That's just fucking outrageous. Outrageous. Yep, here it is, calling them losers and suckers. Let's see. When American soldiers were in trouble, our allies showed up. Trump slain soldier's widow. He knew what he was getting into, Congresswoman says. That's disgusting. So yeah, that's just, again, let me get you out of this one. Go back to this. How you doing? But the guy's sick. He's sick. And he's showing you, point blank, his cards, right? He's showing you his hand. He doesn't give a shit about this country. He doesn't give a shit about the people that risk their lives to protect this country. That's not benefiting him in any way, right? That's not making his life any better. And just think of how sick that is, right? For a guy that we know loves fucking publicity, right? Who loves to be in the limelight, who craves it, who needs it. And he and his fucking cabinet don't understand, or his advisors don't understand, or they don't care that this is a perfect photo op for fucking Donald Trump. But he don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. He's fucking reckless, lawless, and, you don't give a fuck at this point. Thank you, Jess. Hi, Brian. We're safe and sound. Power. We have power again. Good. It means so much that you checked in on us. We love you, Mel and Logan. Have an amazing day. Keep up your amazing work. Your voice needs to be heard. Love to all the lofts. Just right back at you, Jess. I'm glad that you guys have power again. I think we spent like 5 or 6 days once without power here, and it was just torturous. Torturous. Hi, Roxanne. How are you? Hey, GT. What's up? It's our puss. Is that how I'm supposed to say that? I hope so. What's up, Andrea? What's going on? How are you? What's up, Phil? What's up, Dawn? Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys share the show out. That would be fantastic. Again, I do apologize. Like I said, I spent all day yesterday in Boston. Yes, usually I spend Saturdays setting up the show, so I didn't really have time. And I was kind of prepared to, show you the footage that I got. But that doesn't seem to be an option anymore. I don't understand, Captain. Why does it not have power? Doesn't make any fucking sense. It's literally plugged into the same thing it was plugged into. Anyways, I'm not gonna deal with it. I'll be the only streamer in the history to have to show his phone up to the fucking camera. What an asshole. Right? What an asshole. You won't even be able to hear it. Just a joke. Can you see it? No? No, that's fucking useless. That is just the most ridiculous thing. No, not doing it. Don't care. Don't care. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's see. Continue. This was another one. This was another one. Let's see here. That's from me. That's from me. Sorry, just going through the emails that I sent myself with all the stories. Oh, yep. We have, our ceasefire to report about that Donald Trump had negotiated, right? No, actually, 1 killed in Russian attack on Kyiv as death toll from missile strikes rise to 19. This is from NPR. Let's see here. 1 person was killed Sunday as Russian airstrikes hit the Ukrainian capital Kyiv, while the death toll from Friday's deadly attack on the central Ukrainian city of Kryvyi continued to rise. Kyiv, the victim, was found close to the strike's epicenter of the attack in the city's Donetsky district. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said a further 3 people were injured in the strike, which saw fires break out in several non-residential areas, damaging cars, buildings. In a statement on social media, Volodymyr Zelensky said the intensifying Russian attacks show that there is still insufficient international pressure on Moscow, which again is just putting it about as mildly as you could put it. He said Russia has launched more than 1,460 guided aerial bombs, nearly 670 attack drones, and more than 30 missiles at Ukraine in the past week alone. These attacks, Putin's response to all international diplomatic efforts, each of our partners, the United States, all of Europe, the entire world, has seen that Russia intends to continue the war and the killing, Zelensky said. This is why there can be no easing of pressure. All efforts must be aimed at guaranteeing security and bringing peace closer. Meanwhile, officials said that the death toll from Friday's attack on the central city of Kryvyi had continued to grow, with 19 dead, including many children, and a further 75 wounded. Alexander Vilhul, head of Kryvyi's military administration, declared 3 days of mourning for the attack starting on April 7th. He said that there was, quote, pain in the hearts of millions of people. Together we stand, and no matter how difficult it is, we will win. He said the enemy will be punished, for every Ukrainian in every mother's tear. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed Friday that it had carried out high-precision missile strikes with a high explosive warhead on a restaurant where a meeting with unit commanders and Western instructors was taking place. Russian military claimed that the strikes killed 85 military personnel and foreign officers and destroyed 20 vehicles. The military's claim could not be independently verified, as usual. The Ukrainian General Staff rejects this claim. Elsewhere, Russian troops fired 23 missiles and 109 strike and decoy drones across Ukraine overnight. The Ukrainian Air Force said on Sunday 13 missiles and 40 drones were shot down, while 53 decoy drones were jammed and did not reach their destination. So this is just obviously to prove and to show that regardless of what you're hearing from Donald Trump, regardless of what you're hearing from J.D. Vance or the Secretary of Defense or any of these assholes, Russia is not stopping. Russia has no intentions on stopping. It's actually probably worse off for Vladimir Putin if he were to stop his presidency, his dictatorship, right? Would be, I think, in more peril if he agrees to a ceasefire, if he agrees to even keep the territory that he has now. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think you can justify 1 million dead or wounded, right, for the territory that Russia now holds in Ukraine. The goal was always Kyiv, and that is so far out of reach right now for the Russian military that I think there would be a lot of hardliners in Russia that are looking for the Russian military to go as far and as hard and as deep as possible into Ukraine. And if that is to stop, then they look at Vladimir Putin like, hey, you promised this, or this is what we want, and that's not what we're getting. So, like I said, I think it's more beneficial to him, almost like it's more beneficial to Benjamin Netanyahu to be in a constant state of war, to be in a constant state of attack or defense, right? If that conflict were to ever, again, just stop altogether, I think Benjamin Netanyahu's, reign on power would be absolutely in trouble. So again, these people know how to play the game. They talk about peace while keeping the wars going, and people are dying in the meantime. So, unfortunately, for Christ's sakes, I wasn't even showing you guys that the whole time. What an asshole. What an asshole. This is what I was showing. Sorry. I'll put it on the screen now. This is what I was showing. This is, like they said, the NPR article talking about 19 we just read. I just want to make sure you guys see it. I feel bad it wasn't on the screen. That is my fault. That is my fault. All right, moving on. Moving on. I'm tired, man. Listen, there was a lot of walking. It started raining as soon as we left the Commons to walk, to march. So, let's see here. I'm going to go to, does Newsmax have anything to say about this? I was curious. Greg Kelly got any say? Trump's meeting, I don't think they're going to cover it. I think that would be the last thing these people want, is to show how many people were in the streets, honestly. Nope, nothing from Newsmax. I love it. Let's see if IRSBN has anything about the protests. Let's see here. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Probably not. Probably not. Interview, Trump's build a speech. Trump says, wow, they haven't done shit. They're slacking. I don't think they haven't posted in a while. What else? What else we got? OAN, maybe? Maybe OAN? Maybe OAN. You got anything about the protest, guys? It's funny. Nobody wants to talk about it on the right. That's strange. I wonder why that would happen. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, nothing. That's crazy. That's funny. Why doesn't the right want to talk about the protests? Glenn Beck, maybe? Are you talking about the protest, Glenn Beck? Talking about the protest, Glenn Beck? Let's see. Nope. He's talking about Russia. He's talking about tariffs. He's talking about AI, judicial attacks, dark money, stopping the resistance. Who? No, nothing. These fucking people won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. And I kind of like it. Who else can we look for? Fox? Maybe did Fox cover this? They must have, right? I think Fox must have covered this in some way. Let's see. Videos. Pam Bondi, Speaker Johnson. Oh, they did? Wow. Let's see here. Let's see if we can take a look at this and how Fox News covered the protest. I didn't expect this. I'm not going to lie. I did not expect them to touch it. But that being said, we haven't watched it yet. So let's see how they cover it. Let's see here. Share this tab instead.
Here's a little bit of what we saw yesterday's protest in D.C. Listen here.
Get this.
We are in a fight. We are in a fight for our democracy. We are currently living through.
I'm sorry. Is it a coincidence, you think? Is it just so happened that this is the speaker? Can you think of any reason why Fox News, right, would this is the clip they're going to show, right? That they're going to start off with this one. You think there's something to that? Huh?
Go fuck yourself.
All right, let's go.
A president who wants to be a dictator.
The authoritarians, they're never satisfied with the power that they have. They push the limits. They break the law. If we are quiet.
Do you see a trend? We seeing a trend? Just I don't know, just pointing that out. Just pointing it out.
If elected officials are quiet, then we are complicit. And we cannot be complicit.
So we say to Donald Trump and Elon Musk, hands off science, hands off the Bill of Rights, hands off Greenland, hands off Canada, hands off Panama, hands off the courts, hands off the courts. Hands off the courts.
Hands off the courts. So Shannon, Def Leppard?
It's kind of crazy too, like the I don't know, the overwhelming feelings and emotions you get from a crowd that large chanting the same thing passionately, right? Or, singing along to the Dropkick Murphys. There's just something about being in a crowd like that of like-minded people. And again, only 3 near scuffles. Only 3 near scuffles for me, which is pretty good. I got to say, one guy was pissed he couldn't get to the train station, and you know what? I kind of get it, but he was walking by talking about punching people in the back of the head and just shoving people out of the way. So I kindly told him I would, if he wanted, remove the teeth from his head. If he wanted to take a swing, he could absolutely take a swing. I'm not here to be violent, but I will absolutely defend myself and the people around me, right? Self-defense is not violence. So go ahead, take a swing, pal. I dare you. I got a 10-pound megaphone in my hand. So I'm not a dentist, but I will remove those teeth. Just saying. And then towards when we walk towards the Capitol, somehow it's weird because that place is a bowl, right? The area where they were speaking, it's a bowl. So if you're on the top tier, like behind where they were speaking, you can't hear what they're saying. The sound kind of goes up and it reverberates off the buildings behind you, and you can't really understand or hear what they're saying. So there was a ton of us up there. I was trying to make my way up, and I got my bullhorn talking about how Elon's got 97 kids, not one of them likes him. Right? How, Mike Johnson wears lingerie, but that's okay. We accept that, but I'm just letting you know, telling you that JD Vance rides a bike with no seat, that type of thing, trying to make people laugh and giggle. And people were. That's exactly what they were doing. But one lady, I believe her name was Karen, I didn't find it. She came over and said, "I am so rude. I am the rudest person." She's trying to hear the speaker. And I said, "Ma'am, with all due respect, if everybody here stopped talking, you still couldn't hear what the fuck's going on." Everybody was saying the same thing. I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. And it wasn't because of me, So I was like, "Go ahead, lady. If you can tell me what she's saying right now. Tell me what this, I'm not doing it. Tell me what she's saying. Go ahead. I'll give you $20 if you can repeat what she's saying." Can't hear her. So I told her to kindly, move on. I'm only here for fun and to make people smile, which is what I was doing. And then every time something like that happened, there would be 3 or 4 people to come up to me and be like, "Don't worry about her. Don't worry about that person." Then the first one was we got a Free Palestine chant going, right? And some guy behind me felt it necessary to be like, "Well, why don't you say free from Hamas?" And I'm like, "Well, why don't you say all lives matter when I say Black Lives Matter? How about you shut the fuck up, okay? You want me to list every group that they should be free from? What do you think free means? Do I have to fucking specify? Free means free, okay? From everybody. From fucking everybody. So don't give me this fucking all lives matter bullshit. Like I have to add in fucking asterisks on my chants, okay? Suckamugats. That's what I got to say. Suckamugats. So that guy had to be kindly removed from the situation because I was not having it. I don't know. I was taught from an early age by my father. One of the earliest things that I can remember my father telling me is don't take shit from anybody, right? Paired with, if you can't take it, don't dish it, right? If you can't take a joke, don't be joking with other people. If you're fucking sensitive yourself, don't be spreading. If you got to take a check in hockey, if you're going to fucking hit somebody in hockey, you got to be able to take a check, right? And I've put that into my life. It's helped me in a lot of ways. And sometimes it's, hasn't been the best, but I live by those. I'm aggressive. I'm loud. I defend myself. I will defend the people around me. And I'm not going to shy away from an argument or having to defend myself. And that's just the way that's just the way it's going to work. I wasn't there trying to cause trouble. I wasn't there, riling anything up, wasn't saying anything bad or anything. People were joking and laughing, and it would be wonderful if I could show you my videos and you guys would be able to see that. But unfortunately, I can't do that. Unfortunately, I can't do it. Let me try again. Let's see here. Come on, baby. Nothing. It just makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. I need help. I need help. Not even tough. It's really not even tough, right? I'm not saying I'm going to win. I'm saying every battle or argument or scuffle, I'm not winning them all. That's for damn sure. I'm not the biggest, strongest, toughest of anything. But I'm just not going to fucking shy away. But again, 99.9% of the people there were jovial and happy to be one another, but also pissed off at the government and not afraid to show it. People were on roofs and cars and telephone poles. It was a sight to behold. It really was. It was a cool. It was a really cool thing to be a part of. And you could definitely feel the momentum shift, the amount of signs out there, the fucking people out there. You guys are so clever. You are so goddamn clever. Like, I could not in a million years think of some of the fucking things that you wrote on those signs. Right? I could not. You guys are just amazing. Come on. Work. Just work. No, I don't know. I don't understand, guys. I really don't. Try this. Let me try this. Fuck. Podcasting on the fly, folks. Podcasting on the fly. This is how you do it. We got success. We might have success. I don't know what I changed. I don't know what I did differently. Kyle Klinsky read out some funny signs yesterday. Some of them are so good. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Let me see if I can get this up. Let's listen to while y'all listening to the rest of these assholes, I'll see if I can pull up these pictures.
Ilhan Omar.
What the fuck is she laughing at? Her name? Or just the way she looks? Because I don't recall Ilhan Omar saying anything funny. And why does she sound like fucking she went out with Pete Hegseth last night till 3 a.m?
Well, listen, I got to say, in politics, you got to have an opponent. You got to have a punching bag. You have somewhere to go. And Democrats right now don't have numbers on Capitol Hill to get anything done from a policy perspective. They can gum up the works a bit. Republicans have to stick together in order to override those things, and they don't always do that. But for them to be able to look at Elon Musk, to look at Donald Trump and say, these are our opponents. We now have something to rally around. We now have someone to fight. That's where they find energy. We saw these rallies all across the country yesterday. As for hands off the courts, the Trump administration would probably say, the courts need to take.
So let me skip over the fact that there were millions of Americans that protested and go right into what Donald Trump thinks about the judicial system.
Their hands off his policies. We'll see, because a lot of
policies,
these showdowns are bubbling up to the next level, and many of them will ultimately end up at the Supreme Court.
Look at that. Great job, Washington. Great job, D.C. Great job showing out. A lot of cities showed out.
It's really interesting because obviously, Democrats have seen polling that says that there's a weakness there with Elon Musk and they can attack Elon Musk. But the question is whether they can, obviously they're going to get a lot of traction on their side.
Is that what you'd call it? You call 50,000 people in Boston, and I'm not sure how many people in New York City or Chicago, look like a shit ton, right? All over the country, like all over the world, right? I'm sorry, but the fact that you can't, Like, you're not seeing the importance of this. Files upload. Let's go. Let's see if this worked. Let me see. We might be back at it. Folks. Oh shit, I did something right. I did a thing. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. All right, so let's finish this out first, then we'll take a look at that.
By attacking Elon Musk. But the question is whether or not they're able to convert that into favorability for them as politicians.
And I love how the Republicans keep bringing up the, Democrats are at 22% or 20% or whatever the hell. Yes, because we want them to fight harder. We want them to fight more. We want them to be more aggressive in their rhetoric. This isn't like, oh, we're pissed off at Democrats and we're, thinking about being fucking Republicans, right? We want more out of our politicians. So I just want to put that.
And we're also seeing at the same time, the Democrats are looking at the lowest numbers we've ever seen for the party.
See? Fucking told you. Hadn't seen this clip before, never seen this clip before in my life, and I knew they were going to fucking bring it up. But again, that only points to the anger towards Republicans and the GOP, right? When you say 80% of Democrats want Democrats to take more swings at Republicans because Republicans are that bad right now, you're not bringing that poll up to make your party look good. That is saying that your party is so shit right now and so dangerous that 80% of Democrats want their party to go above and beyond anything that we've seen before. Right? I mean, that's what that poll number means. So it does not mean like, oh, we like Republicans and Republicans are kicking the fucking Democrats' ass in popularity and approval. No. No. Negative. That's not how it works. And you get one of these.
Go fuck yourself.
All right, so let me take this princey little Barbie bitch off the screen. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I might have to present the whole window, right? Would that work? Let me see if this works for you guys. Oh, I see something. Something's happening. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see the pictures? Don't mind my... See, the thing is, I got to go through all my pictures. There we go. There's one. Can I see this on here? Like, can I make it bigger? I'm learning as I go. Let's see. Can I expand this? Where does it expand? Okay. That's not going to happen. So that means I got to do this. Share screen. Entire screen. This one. Right? At the stage. Should just be a picture. I don't know why it's playing like a video. Oh, you son of a bitch. It's just not going to work, is it? It's just not going to fucking work. Why? Why would that happen? Let's see. Does this work? I'm scared. I don't even know what I'm clicking. Could be anything. Nope, nothing's working. What is happening? All right, this PC. I got an iPhone. I'm going to go to this, which is what I've been doing. I'm going to go to this. My phone is hooked up. Why the fuck aren't you working? I'm trying. I am fucking trying. I'm going to fucking snap. Is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fucking snap. Phil's joining us in about 10 minutes, so I'll probably run out of time before I get this to work, which is super fantastic. Super fantastic. Honestly, I get more viewers when I fucking fail at everything I do during the podcast than I do when I get shit to work. So I'll stumble my way through this. Like, I'm looking at them. Why can't I play them? They're right fucking there. You're looking at them. See? Here they are. They're here. This is the fucking file right here. These are the photos. Why can't I play them? Let's see here. Maybe this one. Try this one. But it's like my whole phone. It's like it recorded my whole phone. Let's try this one. See what this is. No, that's just a picture, you dumbass. I don't know. Not happened. Oh, what was this one? Is that Michael McAndrews? Thank you to all the protesters. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Like I said, God bless anybody that showed out yesterday. God bless. Oh, thank you, JD. Look at the programs available. Now you have previews. What's that say? You guys always know that files are temperamental. Boston and I give trouble with the files loading. So I'm not the only one, I guess, is what I get out of that. Right? They're right here. It's here. Right, we're looking. We're watching. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. No, you can't do it. You just can't. And you won't, and you refuse to. So that's good for me. I'm going to try one more time. If not, this phone's going through the window. All right, we're back. Take this out of the way. One more try, and that's it. Nope, something's not responding. What the fuck is this? Get out. Files. This device has either stopped responding or been disconnected. Okay, great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's connected. I know it's connected. Isn't this just fucking the best thing you guys have watched today, right? You guys are probably so stoked. This is just great. I'm trying. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a long day. This folder is empty now? How is that possible? Is somebody fucking with me? Is somebody fucking with me? How is it empty? I am just fucking... Phil, come save me, please. Come fucking save me. Save me, dude. Just show up early so I can get myself out of this fucking mess. What an absolute disaster. Do I only get like a certain number of plays and I already used my plays? Like, what's the deal? I was watching this morning. So fucking stupid. All right, Apple iPhone. Give me something, you son of a bitch. Only me. How is it empty? Stop laughing at me. You guys are all laughing right in my face. Look at the crowd. People doing. Wait. All right. All right. Okay. All right. You want to play like that? We can play like that. You want to play hardball? I'm game. I'm game. One more time here. I'm going to try one more time. It says my iPhone's hooked up. It's right there. It's fucking right there. Where's Carl Smith when I fucking need him? Yeah, it ain't gonna happen, guys. It just ain't gonna fucking happen. I apologize. I took a shitload of fucking pictures and videos and shit that you'll never see. What is this? What is that? That's not all the pictures I want. What a disaster. What an absolute fucking disaster. Email yourself just one video. I guess I could do that, right? I guess I could do that, but how does it show? Let's see here. Allow this device. Yes, I did that. I certainly did that. All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't care. I don't care, folks. Phil's going to be with us in 5 minutes anyway, so. What is this? Now I'm getting calls. Hello? Why? Yeah, there's nothing on there. Hello? I got it. Thank you. I got it. I get what you're saying. All right. Gotta go. No fuck. Sorry. Jorgen, he's terrified. You're doing a great job. What a liar. Luck Dragon. Now you either just joined us or you're just lying to me. Because this is just not. Ooh, okay. We're back. We're back. We're back. Are we doing it? Is it working? Extra large icons. Let's see if this works. For Christ's sakes. Takes forever. All right, ready? Let's see if this works. Last try. Last try. Should work. I can see him now at least, right? I can see him now at least. Let's try this one. See if I can share this. Present. Share screen. Window. Which would be this and this. At the stage. Put it like that. See if it works. Give me it. Come on. One time, people. One time. One time. No? Guess not. Oh, all right. Sweet. This lady was awesome. This lady was awesome. I'm glad this is the video I chose. Oh, come on. You guys can't hear that? You know what? I fucking don't even, I don't know. How is that possible? All right, stop sharing. Share again. Just, I'm swinging and missing, guys. Swinging and fucking missing. Entire screen. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Does that have sound? Can you hear it now? Anybody? Anybody? Give me something. Give me something. Give me something. Give me something, people. Come on. Nope. I heard the poster board. All right. Fuck it. I'm done with it. Why you wouldn't be able to hear that, I couldn't fucking even begin to tell you. Cast video settings, speed, properties, equalizer, video settings, zoom to fill, rotate, voice, video enhancements, cast to device. What's that mean? What does that mean? Sound? No, I don't know. There's nothing. It should be working. Phil, where are you, buddy? I need you. I need you, Philly. You know, I got it, guys. I know. I get it. Enough with the nose in the chat. I'm well aware. Why would it work? I mean, just why would it work? I'm going to erase this episode, at least the first half of this episode, right when it uploads. Oh, I don't know why you do, Bee's Knees. I don't know why you do. Still no sound. Love how you're trying to figure it out. Yeah, see, everybody just likes me looking like a fucking absolute moron. That's what's entertaining, I guess. Just me struggling to do anything. Why can I hear it, but you can't? Why can I hear it, but you can't? Let me see if maybe if I pull it onto this. Let's see here. Let me do this. Let me see if this works. I'm getting ideas here, folks. I'm getting ideas. Chrome tab, new tab. That's not it. That's not it. To share audio, share a tab or screen instead. So I shared a screen. Let's try this. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, what an absolute dope. Share what's it say? Share audio toggle may have to be activated. That doesn't make any sense. I get what you're saying, but that doesn't make any sense because why would I have to do that? I wonder if I can put this in as a video file? Let me try that. Let me try that real quick. Let me try that while I'm waiting. Click the like button. I don't know what you're liking, honestly. But just maybe try that. That'd be great. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. I'm determined. At least I'm not giving up, folks. At least I'm not giving up. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to make that bigger. Alrighty. There we are. And then, but I can't see what they are. I'm just guessing. Let's go. Let's go large icons. Let's try this one. An unexpected error is keeping you from copying the file. If you continue to receive this error, try again. Skip. Your browser is having trouble sharing your video. This can happen if the file is invalid. All right, perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so nothing's going to work. Nothing's going to work, right? So that's just, we'll just keep that as a fact of life right now and keep that in mind as everything goes to shit. Let's see here. Alrighty then. ABC. Are they live right now? Let's see here. Well, I'm also curious on how the news covered the protests in your area. Was there a lot of coverage of the protests in your area or no? Yeah, there we go. What's up, Phil? How are you, buddy? How's everything, my friend? No sound. I can't hear you. Let's see here. Mic settings. Mic volume. Should be good, right? Can you hear? You can hear me, though. Oh, there you are.
Hear you. All right,
How
now
are you,
you
my friend?
should be able to hear me now.
Yep, you're all coming in loud and clear. How's everything?
Yeah, good. I just I premiere the episode, the On the Edge episode every week at this time.
Right.
So it was a little it went a little long, so that's why I was late coming to you.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And if you're just joining us, guys, we're now joined by Philip Bitner, live from Kyiv. He also, like I said, like he's just been talking about, hosts the On the Edge podcast, which he's, like he just said, premieres on Sundays. He has. I was actually talking about your podcast earlier today with somebody and how. Great. How much of a great job you do, and the people that you talk to are so insightful and have such, one-to-one relationships with this conflict, and can give you insight and information that you're not going to get anywhere else, really. You know what I mean? And you spread the wealth. You anywhere from influencers to people in government to military members to just activists along. So if you guys haven't checked it out or subscribed to On the Edge, please head over there and do so now. Phil, good to see you though. Glad to see you, Steve.
I've been coming here for 25 years. The first time I came here was when Pope John Paul II made a historic visit to Ukraine after the fall of the Soviet Union, because this is it's a country that's kind of divided between Orthodox Christianity and Catholicism. And so it was kind of controversial when he came. That was back in 2001, and I've been coming here ever since. So what I try to do with every interview that I do and with every episode that I do, whether or not it's talking to somebody who is, running an ambulance out east, or whether or not it's a member of the parliament, or whether or not it's, somebody like General Ben Hodges or Bill Browder, these guys who, are, enormous, really big figures on the landscape. I like to get the entire gamut.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to bring to the table the experience that I've had, the long experience I've had. So that's kind of what we try and do. This week's episode, we did a repeat guest, which we rarely do, but we do it upon occasion, and it was with a Ukrainian guy who goes by the name of Operator Starsky. It's not his real name; that's his war name, quote unquote war name. And we talked about the fact that this week marks the 3rd-year anniversary of the liberation of a town called Bucha, just north of Kiev. And if folks remember, Bucha was occupied by the Russian forces during the initial offensive when the full-scale invasion happened. And when the Ukrainian forces were able to push them out of Bucha, that's when they discovered, like a mass rave and, lots of civilians being killed in war crimes. So I thought it was important to have that conversation this week to remind people of just what it is the Russians have been doing here and why, it's really important that we continue to support them. And of course, obviously, even more so now in the Trump administration, which seems to have this love affair going on with Vladimir Putin.
Right.
Starsky he's normally a very, very polite fella. But when he
you can only
started
push
talking
people so
about,
far, though, right?
well, he's not polite when it comes to the Russians. He never
Right,
has
right.
been,
Yeah.
and nobody could expect him to. Especially if you listen to the interview that we just published, you'll understand why. I mean, he was one of the first Ukrainian officers when he was serving in the Ukrainian military who was sent to Bucha because he was one of the few who spoke English and he was a public affairs officer.
Right.
So he saw it all. He saw the bodies on the streets. He saw the mass graves. He saw the trenches that were dug to bury and hide the dead. So he's got no love for the Russians. And again, nobody should expect him to. But unusually for Starsky, he laid into JD Vance, which I adored. I had a great time.
Right. I mean,
I loved when he did it, but it's Ukrainians are generally very, very cautious when they talk about, American politics and American politicians because they need our help and they don't want to piss people off. And they know how divided we are. So normally they're really cautious. There's been some erosion of that because Trump and Vance have been so idiotic in their Ukrainian policy. But that moment in that moment in the Oval, I think, was too much for a lot of Ukrainians to bear, and
the tipping point. Yeah,
it was a tipping point in a lot of ways. I mean, the way he treated Zelensky to begin with, the way Trump treated Zelensky and Vance.
Well, you could tell it was planned too. You could tell it was like they didn't want Donald Trump to be the person to actually initiate, right? They wanted, I think they probably didn't plan it out to a T, but they were probably like, if you see somewhere where you can kind of put him in his place, right? If you see somewhere where you can kind of demean him on the world stage a little bit in front of cameras, you can take that place and I'll come in afterwards, and then everybody can say, well, it wasn't Donald Trump that started. All he did was say this, this, and this, you know what I mean? But again, when you're talking about, and you're hearing ceasefire, but still getting missiles thrown at you every single night, and we hear
last night was a nightmare.
Right. Well, I was reading it earlier. It's up to 19 in Kryvyi. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Well, yeah. Kryvyi. They. I mean, that was bad enough. I mean, they hit 18 people, I think, were killed.
Yeah, the Russians claim they killed like 90 something military officials in a restaurant.
And it was a series of cruise missiles that were shot from the Black Sea, which, strictly speaking, isn't actually in violation, as I understand it, of the Black Sea ceasefire, because the Black Sea ceasefire, as it stands now, is meant to curtail attacks internally within the Black Sea. So you can't fire on a ship that is in the Black Sea, whether that's a Russian naval, military naval vessel, like a I don't know, a frigate, like a missile frigate, or a Corsair, or even like a submarine. You can't fire on something inside the Black Sea. Reciprocally, you're not supposed to be able to. The ceasefire dictates that the Russians can't fire on like Ukrainian grain shipments that are being sent out to provide them with income. But the problem is that I don't see, and I haven't seen the actual document, and I'm not sure there is actually a formalized
Right.
document
Yeah.
because I don't
Right.
think anybody's actually put ink on paper with their signatures.
Mhm.
But the understanding is that the Black Sea ceasefire is meant to be you can't fire on one another, or you can't fire on something inside the Black Sea. But it seems as though the Russians have taken it as not a limitation on them being able to fire out of the Black Sea into territorial
Right.
Ukraine.
Right. So
So
under technicality, right? We're
yeah,
talking about here, like the loophole,
yeah,
basically.
and that's not okay. That's not okay. If that's the way that they're going to approach this, the Russians. And I would never tell the Ukrainians what to do, but if I were in the place of the Ukrainians, I would say, no, that's not okay. You can't fire on our cities from the Black Sea without us being able to respond. So like the whole thing, the whole negotiation, um, is can I swear? I can swear, can't I?
Phil, how many times
Yeah,
you been on this
it's a
show?
pig
For
fuck.
fuck's
It's a
sake.
pig fuck. It's a pig. It's a pig fuck. It's an absolute. It's a bullshit.
And now, is that the sentiment of the Ukrainian people as well? Do you think
Yeah,
that's how they feel too?
I
They're
think it's
like, they.
widespread. Well, they don't trust the Russians at all. The Russians have
Nor should they, though.
broken.
Nor this
No,
isn't
nor
something like
should
we should
they.
force them
No,
to
of
trust.
course not.
Right.
Of course not.
Right.
But they're not going to trust the Russians. Um, and I think they've gotten to a place where they're not going to be able to be um, pressured by Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I think they called Trump on his game, and the Europeans, thankfully, although that's really problematic because the Europeans always have had a problem unifying and speaking with a common voice. But generally, the Europeans have said we'll step up. We'll make sure, and rightfully so, because of course, if the Americans are suddenly going to become an unreliable partner for these European countries, this is existential threat. Because the second they're on the doorstep of Poland, you're looking at a threat from Moscow that a lot of people, I think, misunderstand, especially Americans. They don't have to roll tanks down the Champs Elysees,
Right.
or have soldiers, standing outside of Buckingham Palace,
Right.
in order for them to exert pressure on the rest of Europe.
There's cyber warfare alone too. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and if they're successful in Ukraine,
right,
then they can threaten the rest of Europe by being on the border, the direct border with the European Union and with NATO, whatever future NATO has. But for them to get past Ukraine and to be on the border with the European Union and NATO it will enable them to exert pressure on the body politic of those nations, because hey, we're just right on your border now,
exactly.
buddy.
And I find it so ironic
and we can
that
rule the tanks.
I find it so ironic that the original argument was, oh, NATO is encroaching on our borders. So I guess the solution to that is for Russia to then move its borders way to the other side towards NATO. You know what I mean? Like, how does that make any sense? I mean, I know that's bullshit. I know the talking point of denazification and, NATO encroaching and all shit. That's not the main. I mean, that may have been a thought process, but that's not the main fucking reason, nor is it living in reality. You know what I mean? So it's like, and not only that, but the longer this goes on, the weaker Donald Trump looks. The man that said this would be over in 24 hours, the man that said I would have this over before I even took office, never mind after I was inaugurated and in office. I would have this done 24 hours after that election was done, and I knew I was going to be the next president. This would be done. I'd get Zelensky in a room. I'd get fucking Putin in a room. I'd say this, and this, and then it would be done. So I agree with you that I would assume the Ukrainians would be having less and less confidence in Donald Trump's ability to actually get a deal done. or to actually handle this in a proper way while keeping the Ukrainians, on the positive side of the results of this, right? Ukraine should not be punished at the end of this. They should not be punished for being attacked, right? They should not be punished for losing hundreds of thousands of people and having their women and children raped and kidnapped. They should not be punished.
Look at Bucha. Look at. I mean, I've been to Bucha. I've been to these towns that are now synonymous with Russian war crimes. Izium, for example. I went to the graves at Izium. It's just, I'll never forget it. But the argument, what I get frustrated by often, and I've spoken about this for a long period of time, is that the perspective needs to be reversed. NATO didn't expand east. The second, the moment that the Russians, the satellite states that were colonized by Russia were free from their command, from their control, they came running in. NATO didn't expand east. The east came running west.
That's what I'm saying.
Happened.
Right, exactly. And that's
Right?
so crazy that and
the fact that the Moscow has been able to put forward that narrative that it is NATO expanding east, that's the problem. And it gets picked up by a lot of freaking idiots.
Right. It shows you how well their propaganda works, too. It shows you how good they are at manipulating media, manipulating sources and stories.
It's inside the Oval.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
inside the cabinet. Look at Tulsi Gabbard, who literally regurgitates word for word. And she's our damn DSI.
And her connections to Assad, right? And Assad's connections to Putin. I mean, this isn't behind the doors stuff that you have to go digging deep and researching into fucking books and, paperwork from 25, 30 years. I mean, this is out in the open. We found out about her trips. We found out about her meetings. The connection between Assad and Putin, that should be more than enough to vanquish her, to banish her from holding any of those positions or any position in the U.S. government. You don't have to be arrested. You don't have to be, I'm not saying throw her in the fucking gulags or anything, but it should be absolutely disqualifying for you to be DNI or any one of those positions, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to throw them into a prison, but you can relegate them to civilian life, which is
don't put them in power.
Hey, look, you want to say crazy shit? Be the next Alex Jones. Knock yourself out. But you shouldn't be walking the halls of power in Washington and basically being an advocate for Russia's information warfare. It's not just propaganda. It's warfare. It is clandestine warfare. It is information warfare. It twists your brain.
And you've been saying this for some time, that we are at war with Russia. Whether we like to admit it or not, whether you see it or not, we are currently at war with Russia, whether it be informational, whether it be cyber. I mean, it just, when somebody is attacking you, when somebody considers you to be, when an enemy considers themselves to be at war with you, right? It is only smart. It would only be smart of you to deal with that as such, right? You would have to, deal with the people that are attacking you, deal with the ways they're attacking. You don't just sit there like, oh yeah, well, they say they're at war with us. Let them go. Get in the Oval Office with your information, and your propaganda can spread, and Fox News can say this, and that's not how you do it. You gotta combat that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, they say it openly, so it's not like we should be surprised. They openly say we're at war with the United States of America. They say that publicly. Putin has said it himself. Their foreign minister Lavrov has said it. At what point do we start to react to their actions under the consideration that they think they're at war with us? Nobody wants to go to war with Russia.
Right.
But if they're going to go to war with us, we damn well better start responding correctly. And I don't, they're starting to learn that in Europe, because there have been a series of, guerrilla warfare kind of thing, blowing up factories, corrupting politicians with money and influence and all the rest of it. The Europeans are starting to wake up to it.
Right.
We seem to be, even with the kind of like, oh, Donald Trump has got weird connections with Russia, which is, I think, only going to, as he continues to tank the nation, I think will only become more a talking point in the U.S. But even with the understanding that he's got something weird going on with Putin, there's still this reluctance to realize that they've been messing with us. They've been screwing with us hard for a really long time.
Well, this
They're
is the same guy that came
insider
out.
politics.
This is the same guy that came out and said he trusted the word of Vladimir Putin over the United States intelligence agencies, right? With the involvement in the what was it 2016 or 2016 election, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, this is the guy that has no problem standing in front of the world saying, I believe a dictatorial, authoritarian, murderous, leader over the United States intelligence agencies that are, have the facts in front of them and be like, okay, well, this is what we found. This is what it says. This is the way they have infiltrated here, and this is the way they've spread propaganda here. And instead of listening to that, he just doesn't care, though. And we've seen that recently. And I'm curious if anybody in Ukraine, considering what they've been through and how many young people in Ukraine have lost their lives, is the story about the fallen soldiers in Lithuania and Donald Trump playing golf with the Saudi blood money instead of receiving the fallen soldiers. Is that a story that is out there that anybody's talking about out there?
Not so much in Ukraine. I mean, they're aware of it, I think, probably because it's in the neighborhood.
Right.
And they do keep it. There's a lot of very close ties between the Baltic states and Ukraine. So I'm sure they're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
What bothers me is that it's not getting much traction in the States. I mean, for God's sakes, man, did you see the turnout in Vilnius? I mean, that they paid more respect to those four soldiers than our own president did. I mean, what
By
the
far.
fuck? What the fuck, man? He's off golfing, and they're having the streets lined with civilians, children, women, families holding American flags. A trumpeter, playing the last rites on the central square in the Capitol. The bishop of the country came out and sanctified the dead. The president was there. And where was
Right.
Trump, man? Where was Trump? Did he go to Andrews? Fuck no, he didn't go to fucking Andrews.
And it's even worse that it's with the Saudis,
Yeah, and with the and what pisses me off even more, and this is slightly personal for me, is that those guys were from the Third ID, the Third Infantry Division.
Right.
And I was embedded with the 3rd Infantry Division in the invasion of Iraq. And I really hold that unit close to my heart. There are a lot of good guys that I know who died in the invasion of Iraq that were in the 3rd ID. And I've always felt very close to that unit, that division. So when I was angry when I saw, this crap with him, in his golf cart while they were putting bodies on planes.
Right.
But then when I found out that it was the 3rd ID, it was like, well, fuck you. I mean, this is a unit close to my heart. So the whole thing is just he will never understand the concept of service. He will never understand the concept of sacrifice.
Well, you've been embedded with United States soldiers. You've talked about it a lot on Hal's show. You've spoken about it on this show. How important is it to not only like the military code, right, but the way that soldiers, carry themselves to pay respects to somebody that gave their life in defense of their country? Like, this is one of the most solemn and important things that you could do, I feel like, is to pay your respects to anybody, any fallen soldier, woman, man, whoever that has given their life in any way, whether it be training, in war, whatever the hell it is. And
it doesn't matter. No, the men and women who put on the uniform put themselves at risk every day just by the nature of their job, because you're training with some really heavy equipment and you're doing some pretty dangerous stuff because you're preparing for the real thing. So you want to make it as close to the real thing as possible. So these guys are always at risk. And the other thing is the sacrifice that they make. They're away from their families. They're the lifestyle of being in the service,
which is why they should be honored in such a way, right?
I mean, remember, for me, look, I gave up. I never supported Trump. I was never somebody who said, "Oh, let's give him a shot," and, let's see what happens. I always knew, well, mainly because of my knowledge of Russia. I always knew that he was compromised. But the thing that I think should have been the nail in the coffin was that visit to Arlington.
Right.
Bad enough that he said shit about the World War I cemetery that we had. Like, who was it at the time that revealed that he said that? Was it who was the general who revealed that? It wasn't Milley. It was Kelly, I think.
Was it Kelly?
I would think it was Kelly that revealed that. But that's one thing. When a general says the president said this and I was shocked, that's one thing. But then to have cameras at Arlington and to see him mugging like he's in fucking Disneyland.
Right. Right.
That should have been. I mean, that's hallowed ground, man. That's hallowed ground. That's not a.
Yeah. Right. Right. Not a place for a fucking photo op. Right.
For photo ops and like, mugging and fingers up and smiling and that.
Which is why I'm surprised he didn't go meet these soldiers, because I was saying earlier, he loves the limelight, he loves the spotlight, he loves a good fucking opportunity to look like he cares and that type of shit. And even his advisors, like if I was an advisor to that, I'd be like, listen, at least, I mean, I know you don't give a shit, but if you go stand there, you'll get at least some credit from some people for going to receive. You couldn't even care that much.
Maybe it was because it happened in Lithuania. If it had happened in France or Germany or something, maybe or North Carolina, it would have been slight. It would have been, maybe he would have done, because I think you're right. I think he does love to pretend and to get the limelight, as you say. But maybe because it was the Baltics, where there's a very real possibility that the Russians might do something in the Baltics, and that would drag us into, by our commitments in NATO, at least that's the way it's supposed to be.
So would I be reading into it too much to think maybe this could possibly be a sign to Putin? A small sign of, okay, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go and show my love and respects, or pay my respects to Lithuania for showing the send off that they gave, and going to pay respects to the soldiers that were training in Lithuania. You know what I mean? It could be a small,
right. And but he also would have had, if he were to bring attention to this, aside from the 4 soldiers that are going to be laid to rest, there would be the connection to Lithuania, and he would have to. And also, look, it was. I suppose you could be cynical and say that the Lithuanians turned out in numbers because they know that they're in a precarious moment with America, and they want to overdo their
little buttering up.
But having been to the Baltics, I don't think that's the case. I think they genuinely understood that these guys died.
They're not buttering up type of people either, right? Lithuanians and that type of that.
The guys in the Baltics are not. Yeah, they're not really softies.
Right, exactly, right.
And they're not kind of, I think it was genuine. I really do. I think them lining the streets and
I agree.
paying their respects. I mean, I overheard there was a video I watched where they interviewed a Lithuanian guy who was on the streets, and he said it feels like we lost one of our soldiers.
Right.
That
Right.
we feel as a part of a family, and a lot that the NATO alliance is about protecting us from the cruelty of a country like Russia that would commit a thing like Bucha. Because
Right.
Bucha will
Exactly.
happen again and again, and the Baltics know it, and they know that those poor guys, they didn't have any real connection to Lithuania, but yet there they were, exercising along the Belarusian border to protect.
And I know the
this
Lithuanians
country.
were kind of surprised that they didn't have more insights into the area, because this place is notorious for, I mean, they still to this day pull out Russian and German vehicles from World War II that tried to traverse this type of area, and it's not made for heavy vehicles. Is it a great defense? It's a great barrier. It's a great thing to have for defense, because it just, as we saw here, you try to take a heavy vehicle into this, the bog and the marsh and stuff. It's just not going to work. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah, I mean,
so
what is the? I think they were in a Striker, which is like a 30-ton vehicle, something like that, 25, 35, somewhere in that ballpark.
which
I mean,
you'd
it's
think
not
you'd feel invincible in, right? But once you're immobile in that vehicle, it's kind of it's a whole new ball game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, it pisses me off that the whole MAGA movement with like the isolationism, where it's like fuck those Europeans. It's like, well,
Right.
no, actually, not fuck those Europeans. We're stronger together. We have common values and the ideals of liberal democracy, which the Russians absolutely fucking do not. And maybe MAGA is like, I'm down with that. I don't
Well,
want to
they're
be.
so dumb. They're so dumb because they're like, fuck Europe. And then on the next thing they'll say is, be like, all right, what are we having for dinner tonight? Spaghetti? Can we have some of that Italian spaghetti sauce for dinner tonight? And it's like, well, are you seeing the connection here? I mean, I know it's just we're talking about one thing, but we get a lot of, there's a lot of things that we buy from Europe and, food wise that, you're going to see. And if Russia has control of the vast amount of the grain production in the world, and we're paying fucking, I don't know, $70 for a loaf of bread because that's what Russia wants to charge and shit, then, pasta and bread. I mean,
all they have to do is call up London,
right,
or call up Berlin and say, you're going to fuck with the Americans, or we're going to absolutely destabilize your country. To the point of rolling tanks. But we don't have to roll tanks. All we have to do is give a few politicians in the AFD or Le Pen or whomever, and we'll be pulling the puppet strings. So,
well, and that's the thing too. That's the thing. The more area and the more territory that Russia gains, the less they need to send out the tanks, right? The more influence they can have on the more influence they'll have on their neighbors. They won't even have to do that shit. They can rely on, again, blocking trade routes, or, jacking up prices on anything that's traded, or, cyber warfare, hitting them with propaganda. I mean, if you, like I said, that it totally changes the game and gives them a huge advantage if what if what we're talking about were to happen, if they were to ever, get as far as the European borders, right, and take over Ukraine.
If they're
God forbid that happens, right?
If they're perched on the border with Poland, they don't have to actually cross the border. They can just intimidate from that side of things. So it's not, the guys who are like, oh, come on, you're being hyperbolic. They're never going to actually, roll tanks into Poland or a NATO country. Well, they don't have to. You see, if they stay, if they stay in Ukraine, or if they go into Moldova, or if they go, into Georgia, or if they go into, now Finland isn't viable, but beforehand, they could have done a number of things that would have put them in a position to really threaten Europe, and that's all they needed to do. And then they can control Europe, and then we're fucked because we have a lot of trade with Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with this tariff bullshit, which by the way I find highly suspect as well. You know, but you know this also goes back, and it's something that we don't talk about enough. And I know it kind of. I guess it kind of like goes back into history that people really don't care about.
Mm-hmm.
But we venerate our American revolution so much that I think we should, is to understand that actually in the late 1760s, early 1770s, there was a war. There was a huge war
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of Europe. With the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which is basically an old empire that existed at that time, which stretched from the Baltic Sea all the way down to the Black and the Adriatic Seas. So that whole like section between the Russian Empire and like the Austro-Hungarian and the
Mm-hmm.
the Holy Roman Empire, kind of Germanic states. They had a war in which a number of revolutionaries who believed in the ideals of liberal democracy that were being spread around the continent, both in France, Britain, and then overseas in America, with the idea of a constitution, with a Bill of Rights, with all these kind of things that would protect us from monarchs. There was an enormous war in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to try and throw off Moscow, who had been kind of controlling things there.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost that war. They lost that war because their empire was right next door. Our imperial masters in the form of London were all the way on the other side of the sea. So to wage war was extremely expensive for them. Ukraine's and the Poles and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth their masters were right next door. So they were fucked.
Right.
And they lost that war. A bunch of guys fought to do the same thing as Jefferson and Washington and Hamilton, all those guys and Adams were fighting for. They had a similar movement in this Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. When they lost, what a lot of people don't know, they talk about Robespierre and they talk about Lafayette coming from France. They don't talk about Casimir Pulaski, unless you're from Chicago. Where they have Pulaski Day every year, who was a Polish cavalry general. They don't talk about the guy by the name of Tadeusz Kościuszko, who was a Belarusian who fought against the Tsar, lost, went to the 13 colonies, and helped us win the Revolutionary War. So we talk about our obligation to the French during the Revolutionary War. We don't talk about the Poles, the Ukrainians, the Belarusians who did likewise. So, you know, I know it's kind of reaching back into history, but if we give such reverence and appreciation to Lafayette and to not Robespierre, but Rochambeau, then we should be doing the same thing for those guys who fought against the Tsar and lost and then helped us gain our liberty. We have an obligation, we have a debt, and it needs to be paid. So,
seems to be we have several of those. If you include the Budapest Memorandum, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's that too. Our obligation under the Budapest Memorandum, where we said, you know, don't start shit, give up your nukes, and we'll guarantee your borders, and then it's not worth the paper it's written on.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get our shit together, man. Our press corps is doing a crappy job. I shouldn't be the one doing this. There should be. CNN should have a full bureau here.
Mm-hmm.
The networks, everybody. This should be being covered far more than it is, and it's irresponsible that it isn't.
And the only way it is being covered is the sensational shit between Trump and Putin, or if people die. Right.
Yeah, the bang bang, you know, the sexy stuff where a guy will, a CNN correspondent will fly in from London, spend 2 weeks here, go to the front, see a couple of, drone attacks or
Yeah, do a
some shit.
piece. Right.
Yeah, do a piece. Go to a hospital or go to a
Right.
refugee
We
center or
need
some
one
shit like that.
amputee. We need an amputee.
Yeah.
We need an explosion. We need one tank on film, and we need to talk
We
to
need
one
a we
commander,
need
and we're good.
Yeah, for tonight's primetime broadcast, we need a 3-minute piece on the advances in uh, replacement limbs for people who, or for advancement in drone technology and
Drone
how.
techno. Right. Yep.
And
Right.
these are good topics. They're good topics, but they're surface and they're
Right. Exactly.
superficial, and
Not
they're
helpful.
not
Really.
they're not really explaining things. They're just they're looking for clicks and views and
It's almost
ratings.
like to say, well, we did cover it, like, so you can point to the headlines that you posted talking about, whatever the story was. I'm curious, have you guys seen any of the protests that took place all around the country yesterday?
Well,
all around the world, really.
I did. I'm sure Ukrainians did as well. Although I haven't spoken to any about it. I was
Right.
working on the episode. But obviously, as an American, I was watching it, and it's like, yeah, that's what we need to do, man. We need to be out there. And what's been really interesting to me is actually not the numbers that came out, although that was impressive. Was the freak out by the MAGA crowd, who were like, "Oh, this is all paid for. It's all Soros. This can't be real. I can't accept it."
I know
It's
George
like, no,
Soros is rich, but I don't think he's paying 50,000 people enough money to get them out in the rain. You know what I mean? I don't think he's got that type of resources.
And if it was him, then there is a money trail. You pricks, go ahead and find the money trail, and then come back to me. You're not.
And even if you do say that, then you can say, okay, so why are there so many people that pissed off willing to accept it and get out there anyways to
That's
protest?
the problem.
You know what I mean?
For the MAGA crowd, that's the problem. I mean, they freaked out like a bunch of buses shut up. It's like, well, yeah, that's called organizing. That's yeah, they bust people in because there were organizers who were like, hey, we're going to hire a bus. Get on. And, the other thing that drives me nuts about the MAGA reaction, yeah, look at that. I mean, the other thing that drives me nuts about the MAGA reaction is that, like, even if they were busing in people, even if Soros was behind organizing the buses, who were they busing in? Fellow Americans.
Right.
Who don't want your bullshit. So you can stick your head in the sand and think that you have some sort of massive mandate, which you do not.
Right.
Or you can look at images like that and realize that, no, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of Americans who fucking hate you guys.
Right.
And really, there are more of us than there are of you.
So I was in Boston yesterday, and it was a very special sight to see.
Dude, when I saw the oh fuck, I'm so sorry. The Dropkick Murphys.
Yep.
When I saw them took to the stage, I was like, get it. I fucking love you guys in Boston, man. You're a bunch of pricks a lot of times, but fuck, I love Bostonians. I really love the revolutionary spirit of Boston. I think it has something, maybe it has something to do with the whole Irishness of Boston, but like the revolutionary spirit is fucking incredible.
What happened here? Where'd I go?
I don't know. I can't see you.
That's all right. I'm here.
I can still hear you though.
There you go.
But, I mean, look. I mean, you saw. I really love seeing the turnout in Boston, and I love the Boston attitude of like. I saw a meme or a short a while ago on YouTube. The algorithm took me to it, where it's like the representation of like some Bostonian who like fucking hates his neighbor, But the second the second ICE showed up, they're like, "Go fuck yourself. Who the fuck are you?" So that sort of shit.
Well, I mean, a lot of
I love
what
that attitude in Boston.
Ayanna Pressley was talking about, a lot of what Michelle Wu was talking about was, the ICE agents going around and just simply taking people off the streets for no reason, because you're wearing a certain pair of shoes or because you get a certain tattoo that says mom and dad.
Bostonians might be at one another's neck like all the time, but you come from the outside and try to come in. No. And I love seeing Chicago and the way Chicago turned out. That was fucking cool.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
I think, is that Boston? Yeah, there you go.
That's the
right.
Dropkick
There you go.
Murphys.
That's the Dropkick Murphys. Right. I love that. That was
It
so
was
cool.
pouring out. People, nobody left. Right? Nobody fucking left. If anything, people kind of took
rain.
they went under some
Pissing
shelter.
rain.
But what I really was impressed at was the variety and the cleverness of the signs that I saw. Right? I mean, look at the amount of people there. It's fucking unreal. If I can get it anywhere near where you guys can see it. I mean, I'm doing a full 360, and it's just signs on top of signs on top of people on top of people on top of people.
And of course, we expected people to take to the streets of San Francisco and Los Angeles and stuff like that. But to see them coming out in,
I mean, and there were smaller protests not far away,
Ohio, or
right.
I'm sure there were. But like we saw people coming out in Ohio, in Alabama. Look, I think the administration thinks that they have a stronger mandate than they do. And I think that Trump himself thinks that he can beat Putin without having done.
That's from Ohio. I don't know if you can see the line
there
of
you
people.
go.
There's a shitload of people there from Ohio.
America is not Russia, man. The Russians will. Which city is that?
This is Boston.
There's the Ukrainian flag right there. Good to see that.
There were a ton of them out there yesterday, Phil. Everybody, people were draped in the flag. There was Slava Ukraine chants, but I don't know if you can see that sign, but big booty bitches against Trump. I mean, the signs that people have were fucking hilarious. You know what I mean? They were so
great,
clever.
I
saw one that said, "I would call Donald Trump a cunt, but he's not. He has no warmth or depth or something like that." It was fucking hilarious. People there were great, but I think everybody had the same sentiment. We were shocked. I mean, we all knew that it was going to be a bigger protest, right? We all knew it was going to be, a lot of people there. But when it actually came time to looking around, because I was up front, right? So you're paying attention to the speakers. I was there early. It wasn't a ton of people there when I got there. So I wasn't really. The one time I turned around and I actually saw how much it had filled in behind me, I was like, holy shit. Like unfriggin' believable amount of people, just as far as the eye could see with signs, and they were active, they were chanting, they weren't just there to be there. They were out there speaking their word and speaking their mind. And, people, one of the good things was, we left in Boston, they left their signs behind on the fence at the end of them. So they were all kind of like put through the fence so you could read them still. And it was just thousands and thousands of these signs as you're walking of people just pissed off. Like, give me my country back. Here's just a little example. I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah, I gotta love it. And of course,
that went on for blocks.
One of your best sons of your city, Bill Burr, has been fucking doing some great work.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot to repair his
I know.
His image. You know what I mean? Like he,
Yeah.
And I believe me, I'm with him on a lot of things, and I'm he's still kind of out there on a few of the things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I appreciate the attitude.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we need right now. I think that
we need Boston, man. We need Boston. We need
even Jasmine Crockett type who's not afraid to say fuck you. You know what I mean? Call him fucking Hot Wheels. And then when people ask you about that, right? Say no. I was talking about the wheels on the buses that he's sending the migrants all around the country. You know what I mean? Do what the Republicans do. Say something fucking outlandish, and then when the fucking people come ask you why you said that, you gaslight them into believing it was fucking because of something. That's what the fucking Republicans do, right? Fuck it. Let's play fight with fire.
Double down. Be like, damn straight, I want, health coverage for
Right.
everybody. I want,
Mhm.
you're goddamn right. I want, to repeal Citizens United. I
Yeah.
mean, don't back away from it and be like, oh well, we have to make this approachable to everybody. No, fuck that. Double down.
What? Which
That's
has
what
been
they
the
do.
response from a lot of the Democrats of, not of late, but, historically, if they were to get challenged on something, they kind of back away from it instead of exerting their voice and taking it a step further,
what they
saying, listen,
always
this is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to the point, I think, Brian, that we're our side of the aisle. Those of us who are anti-MAGA and anti-Trump have gotten to a point where we're like, well, okay, if you're going to stand for something, stand for it. Like it's not just we have to get voters and we have to bring out we have to
I think
rock
this
rock the
shows that
boat kind of thing.
we are
Yeah,
very close
we're
to
allowed
the
to.
enough is enough point, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this
it's like,
shows that
no,
I think
I
people are
do
at
believe.
that point, right?
Yeah, I do believe in a woman's right for choice. I do believe in,
Yeah, I'm done seeing women die on the
and
steps of the
really,
hospital, right?
and tearing down the oligarchy, tearing down. I think that's going to find. Not that that should be the focus. I think, but I think it will bring a lot of people on board with the whole idea of an anti-oligarchy. We Americans don't fucking like oligarchy. We don't like rich fat cats. We like to think we're eventually going to become one, but we don't like, the Carnegies or the whole Gilded Age. That's seen as that whole
Right.
period of our history is
Which
reflected on pretty negatively.
right.
And we're in a new Gilded Age. Fucking who
Uh-huh.
the fuck voted for Elon Musk?
Right.
Go fuck yourself, man.
Which is why I
Right?
don't know if you're familiar with Kyle Kalinske, but he's been calling these people
Sure.
robber barons, right? Because if you call them
Yeah.
just billionaires, like there's not always a negative connotation to the word billionaire, but
I got
you
some- I
cannot.
got some- yeah.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you're right. I got some beef with Kyle because he's really he's very skeptical of the Russian involvement in our body politic.
Right. No,
And
believe me, I'm not
I get
praising him all around. I'm saying in this one,
it's all good. It's all good.
in this one instance,
look,
him calling them robber barons, there is no positive connotation to the word robber baron, right? And the fact that
absolutely not.
you pair that up with
And
Donald
that's
Trump,
what we have.
even touting the same time you're talking about when the wealth inequality at this country was at its highest peak. Now they're touting that as our best time, paired with the robber barons of today stealing your money, robbing you blind. I mean, a lot of the interviews in Boston, you heard the lady saying, keep your hands off my money, keep your hands off my daughter, keep your hands off my fucking my freedom, my body. You know what I mean? So it's like people are out there pissed off, and they know that that Elon Musk wasn't voted for. This is not what we fucking signed up for. This is not how this is supposed to work. This is not how fucking people just buy their way into power, right? That's the opposite of what this country is fucking
And we
set up
went
for.
through this. We went through this before. I mean, like people forget, but in the turn of the century, the 1900s to the 1920s, they fucking labor unions took to the streets, and it was they brought in the robber barons brought in guys to crack heads. So we may have to go through that again. But my expertise being Russia is that I also think that there's some coordination happening in that the Russians would love to see us tear ourselves apart, but what they don't understand is they think that they can have. Oh dear, sorry to hear that. They think that they can act like they do in Russia, and that the people will just kind of like bend the knee until the pressure pot boils over, like in a Bolshevik revolution or the overthrow of the Soviet Union. It doesn't have to get nearly as extreme as that in America because we believe in our civil liberties, and we are empowered. We are empowered citizens, a nation of the people, by the people, for the people. And the fucking Russians don't understand it. They think that if they flood the zone with money and with influence within, the National Prayer Breakfast or the NRA or wherever else we found them, Mar-a-Lago, where we found them trying to infiltrate into our power structures, that dog won't hunt. in America. It would work.
Shit, what was the lady's name that pretended to be one of the heiresses there that got into Mar-a-Lago?
She claimed to be a Rothschild
Right.
heiress.
And she was actually a Ukrainian,
and
right?
She was Ukrainian, yeah. But still, I mean, regardless, I mean, that's not okay.
But just goes to show how easy it is for somebody to be like, put on some fancy dress, a nice fucking Cartier watch, and you're all set.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
bat your eyes at Stephen Miller or Eric Trump, and next thing you know, you're
you're sitting at the head table,
or you're in or you're in one of the bathrooms where all the fucking classified documents are held, and you're taking.
Give me a second, just a minute.
Crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. But we gotta recognize, aside from what we need to do as citizens, and that is to take the street. Aside from that, having to take to the streets, which we should do. I mean, we need to do what we did yesterday.
I think the fuse has been lit, Phil. I think the fuse has been lit, and I know we're coming up on the end of the time. But I do think that the momentum has.
Aside from that,
go ahead.
The momentum is there, but I also think, and again, I might be biased because I'm on the ground here at the pointy end of the stick here in Ukraine, where things are kinetic. We also have to recognize that Moscow is fucking with us internally. And we've got to wake up to the fact that Trump is working with Putin. And there's just, his entire cabinet is filled with people who are friendly to Putin.
What's crazy about that is Putin is slowly and steadily making Donald Trump look stupid.
Yeah.
He is. He's just making him look like an idiot by, I can control Putin, Donald Trump. Oh, I can tell him what to do, and I can do this, and I'll have it settled in 24 hours like we were talking about. No, I believe he wants peace, and I believe he wants a ceasefire. And meanwhile, they're lobbing rockets left and right, killing people still. I mean, he's making Donald Trump look like an absolute fool, an inept, incompetent fool in this position. I know it's almost hard to see what the actual reasoning is behind Donald Trump's motivations. It really is. Like, is it just pure love in affection, and like he's enamored with Putin? Is it the financial gain if he were to buddy up with Putin and have trade deals and start working with Russia again? Like, what is it? Because he doesn't seem to be getting anything out of it. And if they were working together, I feel like this would be going differently. I don't know. It's hard for me to be like, okay,
and
that's the reason.
His cabinet is filled with people who have the Moscow brainworm, that believe in like deep state, the deep state and all this kind of crap. That's the Moscow does that on purpose. They have an entire information warfare campaign that rots your brain. It makes you think up is down, down is up, black is white, white is black. It manipulates your perception of reality, and they're in our fucking cabinet, for Christ's sakes. He's also hiring jokers like fucking Hegseth, which we could, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But look, we got to get our shit together, man, and recognize that we got a problem in Washington, sure. But we also have an external threat that's fucking with us in the form of Vladimir Putin. And, the sooner we wake the hell up and start to take this shit seriously and recognize that there is something going on with certain elements in the MAGA movement in their relationship with the Kremlin, the sooner we can recognize that, yes, we are responsible for our own state of affairs internally within the United States. I am not going to remove agency or responsibility from our own citizenry, but we also have to start to recognize that there are active measures that are being conducted internally within the United States and globally that affect the United States that are being directed out of the Kremlin. And this is the hot part of the war. Ukraine is where people are fucking dying and fighting. Not that people aren't dying in places like London and Berlin and even, throughout the United States with like covert ops. But there are also people who are dying and will die. People died during COVID. People will die with the financial hardships and all the things that Trump is going to be putting the country through, ruined lives that are going to happen. And they will be responsible back in Moscow for that. And the sooner we fucking realize that, the better. And to recognize that these guys are working hand in hand, whether or not it's just because they're common travelers and they share a common mentality about power and the relationship between the state and the citizenry, or whether or not it's a common thing about like power and how power should be, implemented. Um, Russia is trying to turn us into Russia, and it's not going to work, but it's going to cause a lot of fucking pain. And unless we wake up to the fact that this shit is not only internal within MAGA, but is also a direct attack by Moscow. It's already late in the game for us to be waking up to this, frankly.
Well, you're 100% right. I agree with everything you just said, and I just would like to reiterate before you go. I do think the fuse has been lit in this country after the millions that showed up yesterday, all around the country in towns, cities, villages, fucking the big cities, the small cities, big towns, small towns, all across the country. We were already told at the protest yesterday that more of these are being scheduled, more are being set up already. So this is going to be a continuous thing leading up into
And
the
I'm happy,
2020
and I
midterm.
am thrilled to see. I am thrilled to see that Ukraine is part of the conversation as well, because I do genuinely think I don't give a shit what happened in the Oval. That was disgraceful. But I think the vast majority of Americans don't like a bully. They don't like. We don't like imperialism. We don't like colonization, especially when we engage in it. People don't recognize that.
It shouldn't be a hard case to make because
we
my
can see it in Ukraine.
grandmother survived on Meals on Wheels, right? She helped out the people that were also living in that older age community. Sometimes she'd forego hers and she'd bring it to the other people in the area. If you have somebody in power that is willing to mess with the Meals on Wheels and the Social Security and the health care of our veterans, of our senior citizens, of the people that helped build this fucking country the way it is today and put in their time and put in their effort, and now are looking to be taken care of because they are not able to do it themselves. They paid into Social Security their whole lives, and they should be able to fucking use it. They should be able to put food on their table. They should be able to pay their bills. They should be able to fucking live their life without fear of Donald Trump coming in, ruining Social Security, taking the meals out of their fucking mouths. It's sickening, and there are so many individual things that should be wholly disqualifying. We don't even need to get into the Jeffrey Epstein. We don't even need to get into the stolen classified documents. We don't need to get into releasing 5,000 Taliban members before we pull out of Afghanistan. We don't need to talk about how he totally shut out the Afghanistan government from those talks. We don't, there's so many things that singularly on their own should be wholly disqualifying for us. And the American people have a lot of them to add up and to a lot to be angry about and a lot to protest about, like I said, going into 2026. And I think the Republicans are in for a rude awakening in the midterms. I really do.
Yeah, I think so. And in the run up to the midterms, we need to be loud. We need to be out on the streets.
Right.
We need to be doing all that kind of crap. So,
well,
don't wait.
Phil, I appreciate you, brother. There's a few things that I would love and need to talk to you about off cam if possible.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be today. I'm just saying in the near future. If you have a couple minutes, that would be great.
Sure,
if you could just before you leave, let everybody know.
The time difference is a pain in the ass, but we'll figure it out.
I hear you. But before you go, let everybody know where your channel is and where they can find you, buddy.
Well, on YouTube, I'm just I'm posting on my own channel, Philip Bitner, 1L and Philip 2 T's and Bitner, all one word. But I've also got an independent channel just for the On the Edge, which is my program that I put every Sunday. We put out roughly about an hour-long program in which we talk about and we try to dig deep into what's happening here and really explain it at a much more substantial level than just a 3-minute or a 5-minute, report on the CNN primetime news or Fox. Well, Fox wouldn't give a shit, but we try to go deeper than superficial coverage by getting people in the studio that we built here in Kiev, sitting them down and really, really getting into it, get right down into the into the muck. Get your hands dirty. And I hope it's informative. I think it's informative. I'm proud of the work that we're doing. I have a fine group of Ukrainians that are helping me. We helped push forward the story of the human safari in Kherson, which is a war crime every day, where Russians are using drones to literally hunt civilians down on the streets, chasing them down into their apartment buildings like it's a safari. We talk about the children that have been stolen from this country, and we're going to keep doing that. So, if folks could go over there and subscribe and share and all that kind of stuff, to try and raise the algorithm. That's our biggest effort right now, is to try and grow the audience. Because hopefully we can gain kind of get to critical mass, and then it will grow upon itself. But I would appreciate guys going over there and watching our programs, but more importantly, to subscribe and to share so that our audience grows.
Well, thank you, Phil. As always, please stay safe. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your commitment to this cause. Thank you for the information that you give us. It is absolutely invaluable to understanding why this fight is happening, what is actually going on, the war crimes being committed, and what we need to do in order to get out of this situation. So the work that you do is very, very important. And like I said, you got an open invitation anytime you want to get something out, or if you want to pop on the show, like I said, that invite that I gave you is there. Just click it, and doesn't matter what I'm doing. You're always welcome, buddy.
All right, thanks, pal. Go
Have a good one. Appreciate it. Thanks, Phil. Thank you. Right. Let's see here. All right, Philip Bitner, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Phil. Again, we appreciate you so much for the work that you do. Please stay safe. And yeah, if we could get in touch in the next during the week or something, that would be great, just to have a chat. But all right, let me thank everybody who donated, everybody who gifted, and I'll get you guys out of here for a Sunday. Luckily, the second half of the show was better than the first, right? Good Lord. But before I go, I do want to give everybody one more round of applause that showed up yesterday, whether it was your town, your city, your state, wherever the hell you were. If you held a sign, bullhorn, screamed, you get one of these. So let's go. All right. So thank you guys. All right, let's get through these. Nordes, thank you. Always first. Let's go. Appreciate you with the 5 gifted. Anybody that gets a gifted membership, please say thank you to the people gifting it. Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you, Neil, so much for the 5 gifted. Very, very generous of you. Thank you, Jerry. Been here for 11 months. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Appreciate you, Jerry. Yvonne is, oh, that's not Yvonne. That's Yvonne. Yvonne gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Yvonne. I appreciate you. I really do. Let's see here. Thank you so much for being here for 6 months. Howdy, friends. Right back at you. Jerry coming in with the Slava Ukraini. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that. Thank you for your generous contributions to the channel and keeping us running. Kyle Jacobson, thank you for becoming a member, dude. Appreciate that. You can become a member, too, right underneath me. Clicking the join button. $1.99. $1.99. Like I said, today's show was a little hectic because of the protest yesterday. Didn't really get to set up much. Slacks. What's up, Slacks? Appreciate you, brother. Love you, Brian, Mel, Dungaree, Dog, Logan. Love to all the Bryantologists, Slava Ukraini. Right back at you, Slacks. Thank you, as always, for your continued viewership and your generous contributions to the channel. Very, very helpful. So kind of you. Olga became a new member. Fancy became a new member. Thank you to the both of you. You guys are fucking unbelievable. Jenny Faye Loco News lied and said there were 200 to 250 people. There were 1,000. Pics on my blue sky. Thanks to the Real Patriots for showing up and fighting back. You talk about in your area? Yeah. I mean, again, the counts there, I feel like a lot of the counts weren't really close in a lot of these cities. It seemed to be a shitload of people with not many to be reported. Oh, Michael Andrews. Wait, did you send 2 of these? Did you send 2 50s? You're crazy. Nice to see you here, Fancy, and everybody. Thank you, Michael. That's fucking incredible of you. I thought you sent another one where you said you pulled your back out, right? That's incredibly kind of you, Michael. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you, Sheldon, so much for the one gifted. Really, really appreciate that. Hey, Rachel, how are you? Look up the counter protest in Maine for a laugh. I'll have to check that out. After. That's fucking hilarious. And yeah, sorry to there was literally no phone calls to be made yesterday. I couldn't get cell service in. I couldn't get cell service out. There was just too many friggin' people. I was going to try to go live, for a couple minutes to at least show you guys, but even that wouldn't work. So I do apologize. Yakov, thank you so much for your protest needs. It paid for my poncho. There you go. I got it back for my poncho, which I ended up giving away to a woman in a wheelchair anyway. So I ended up getting soaking wet. Get this. I have a poncho on, right? Some guy's handing out free ponchos. Gives me like 6 ponchos to just hand out to people. Really nice guy. People were unbelievable. As I said again, about 30, 40,000 people. Guess how many arrests? Not a one that I saw. Not a problem. Nothing. 0. So fucking MAGA. Put that in your fucking pipe and smoke it, you January 6th sons of bitches. But yeah, just no fights. Just everybody was there to peacefully protest like you're supposed to do. But yeah, I was handing out the fucking ponchos. I had about 6 of them in my hand. Finally handed them all out. We get about a mile down the road. It starts pouring out. There's a lady in a wheelchair. She's getting all soaked. So I said, here, you take my poncho. That's nice. And immediately wished I had kept one of the other ponchos. But I didn't. But it was okay. It's worth the pneumonia. Let's see here. Sally, Tobias, thank you so much. Baker's dozen. That'll be about a baker's dozen there, Bob. Showing my age on that one again. Thank you, Tobias. Cecilia, what's going on? How are you? Please continue standing up for democracy. Update. Thank you for your prayers. My twin daughter's health has greatly improved. Grateful to you all. That is so great to hear. That is so great to hear. I hope that continues. Cecilia. That is very good news. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. I knew it, Michael. I knew it. Thank you, Cecilia. I hope everything, like I said, continues that way, and we appreciate you so much. This is just too much. Wait a minute. You sent 3 of them? No, that's too much. Stop that. That is just too much. Thank you to all the protesters. Michael says, we thank you. And I'm pretty sure you sent a night. And if so, I'm not going to be happy. I'm just not. Oh, wow. Tobias with the 20 gifted. Holy sugar pie honey bunches. Good Lord Almighty. Here you go. Thank you, Tobias. That is amazing. And Michael, you get one too. Thank you so much for these contributions. They're incredibly generous. That is amazing. Thank you, Tobias. And thank you, Michael, again. I'm not happy, Mike. I'm not happy. You're telling me you're in pain. You're telling me you got food poisoning. And you go and do this? Man. Let's see here. Sally, thank you so much. Say the truth. Refute lies immediately. Repeat often. Boston Bruin truth reporting. Absolutely, Sally. Absolutely. And I hope that's basically the mission statement of blunt politics right there. Refute the lies immediately. Repeat it often. And keep the truth reporting. It's simple as that. So thank you, Sally. I appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your day. 1 year of lobster loving. Viva la resistance. Let's go, JD. Let's fucking go. Appreciate that being here for a year. It's just still crazy to me to think that I've been doing this for a year and to think that there have been people watching me the whole time. Unreal. You guys, Trump's Vietnam was not getting an STI in the 70s. Very, very, very true. Very true. He went through, that was actually one of his statements. That was one of his quotes, actually, huh? That's actually one of his quotes. His personal Vietnam was getting through the 70s and 80s without getting AIDS, right? Is that what I think that was his quote. Was he on Howard Stern on that one? If I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that. Jess, thank you guys so much. Please tell everybody I said hello. Danny, Tegan, all the cats, the tigers you guys have. Make sure everybody knows that I am saying hello. And I will make sure to pass the word on to all the lobsters. Thank you so much, Jess. Appreciate you. Very nice of you. Very kind of you. Hope the power stays on, by the way. Lynn McCarran. How are you, Lynn? Lynn, City of Sin. Let's fucking go. Appreciate that. Appreciate the $1.99. For you, sweetheart, that'll be $1.25, Bishop. Sorry, had to. Just reminded me of it. Lynn again. Thank you so much, Lynn. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Hi, moms. What's going on? My weekly tea late. Oh, you are the best. You are hilarious. You are hilarious. I keep messing up the word tithing. I keep saying tithing. I never know which one it is. And Mom simplified it for me with just a T. So thank you, Mom. It's very kind of you. That is so hilarious. For tech support, no worries. Thank you, Lynn, again, very much. Yeah, it should be very easy to just connect your phone and the pictures are there, right? And you should just be able to play them. I don't know. I went through all of it before to make sure everything was copacetic, right? To be like, okay, I don't want to be showing anything I shouldn't. All these pictures are fine. Everything's good, right? Nothing showing is bad. Nothing here, nothing there. And next thing you know, can't do it. Can't friggin' do it. I mean, you did see a fantastic picture of the corn I was boiling, but that's about it. So I appreciate you, Lynn. Thank you so much. Independent, let's fucking go. Thank you, Boston Brian, for all you do. I don't do. Thank you guys for all you do. You guys make this happen, not me. You guys make this happen. Thank you, Rocks. What's up, Rocks? Keep up the good fight and never surrender. I appreciate that. Appreciate you being here for 13 months. Not only that, but contributing as a mod. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate that. Appreciate your services. Hey, B-Dog. Hal joined the protest walk in Vegas, and when anyone talked crap, he asked how long it would take to know Epstein was a pedo, then asked why Trump was his friend for 25 years. Let's see here. Because, and shout out to Hal, I also was saying the same thing. Let's see. There's one of these where I should be able to. You might be able to hear me. You hear it? Elon's a Nazi, folks. Elon's a Nazi. Don't be in your Tesla when it spontaneously combusts. Oh, excuse me. I think that's a rapid unscheduled disassembly I need. Sorry. I crack myself up. I really do. But I was also asking the very good question that Hal has brought up is how long would it take you to realize that your friend was a pedophile? So thank you. I appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you, Josh, for the 10. That's great. That is fucking great. Let's see here. Where was I? Right here. JD coming in with another 5. Let's go, JD. Let's fucking go, JD. I appreciate you. Jeff Miller's back in the mix. Brian, you just clicked me into a signal chat. Oh my God. All the clicking I've been doing, I wouldn't doubt it, bro. I wouldn't doubt it. It just shouldn't take that much to play a video that you took fucking yesterday. Right? I'm not that stupid. You know? It's there, just not working. I know what to do, and it just ain't happening. But thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Chaz, what's up? Fuck you, Brian. I love you. I'll take it. I'll accept it. Accepted. Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne. Look at the crowd of people. Don Old, just to stir the pot, I would have written on my card, look at the crowds, way bigger than January 6th. Ouch, let's fucking go. Appreciate that. Sending me the 10-pound. It's a 10-pounder. How you doing? The 10-pounder. You need a beer, Brian? Thank you, Chaz. Appreciate that for the 2. Beverly with 20 says, Hollywood, you sound like your hockey team is losing. I love you so much. What? My hockey team does suck at the moment. Did Ovechkin break the record yet? That's another thing that I'm willing to see, or want to see, is Ovechkin break Gretzky's record. Did anybody see Wayne Gretzky sitting with Cash Patel the other night? So I'm happy to see that Ovechkin is definitely going to take that record down. Get it out of the hands of Gretzky, who's a prick. Ricky with the 10 gremlins do exist just like unicorns. Damn it. Thank you, Ricky. Wes with the Ray book. All that work and effort, it gave you insight. Tell us what you have learned. I have learned that technology sucks. when it doesn't work right. My favorite sign was a senior woman sign. I'd call Trump a cunt, but he lacks depth and warmth. That's what I was talking about. That's what fucking awesome. I couldn't think of what it said, but that's what I was talking about, Colleen. That's hilarious. Thank you very much, Colin. I appreciate that. Beverly's back, Hollywood. We don't need sound. We love you. Yeah, I don't know why the sound wouldn't work on that. I could hear it. Makes no sense. Perseverance bonus. Thank you, JD. Appreciate that. I really don't care. It's Sunday and I'm watching Frozen Hollywood. I'm good. Beverly's on one today. Beverly is on one. Watch Texas Paul and On the Edge with Philip Bitner. Now time for my dose of Boston Brian. Good lineup. Good lineup. I don't think you can beat it. Perspective from the South, the North, and from Ukraine. I mean, you're kind of covering all the territories there, right? Kind of covering all the territories. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you, brother. I'll catch your show later, Phil. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that's a good thing about YouTube. Even if you don't catch it live, even if you don't catch a premiere, it's always going to be there. Trash the economy, drive interest rates down for the recovery, and millionaires land grab from the poor and middle class who are ruined. Yes, I mean, we understand that in times of financial crisis is usually when the extremely wealthy consolidate even more wealth, right? So when property prices plummet, they go buy up these properties, and then when the property prices come back up, they jack up the price and they make incredible profits of it. All right, let's see here. Who are we on to? Beverly's back again. Fuck yeah, you can get us, mate. Fuck yeah, you can get us. It's what the fuck we do. Appreciate you, Bev. Thank you. Eileen became a new member. Beverly's back again. Phil, I have no words to say how I feel about you showing up here. I am in tears of gratitude. Thank you, Beverly. Very nice of you. Very nice. And I told you, Michael. I fucking told you why I oughta. My back went out jumping to the toilet because of food poisoning. And I would still stand against Trumpy Stump. Well, I apologize that you had food poisoning. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry about that. And again, I'm going to have to figure out a way to get at least a couple of these back to you because it's too much. It's too much. I appreciate you, Michael. It's very, very generous of you, but I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight knowing how much you contributed today. I don't like it. I don't. Loving the intensity and importance of this dynamic duo conversation. Thank you, Colleen. I appreciate that. Philip is incredibly intelligent, incredibly knowledgeable on the Russo-Ukraine history and conflict. So again, no better person to talk to in my mind if we're going to discuss Ukraine and the war happening in there. So I appreciate his time again. Thank you, Philip. Make sure you guys are watching On the Edge. And thank you, Colleen, for your incredible contributions. Incredible contributions. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Nordez coming in with 5. Thank you, Nordez. As usual, as always. Brenda, how are you? Thank you. Great show again for 7 months. Let's go, Brenda. Appreciate that. Benny Loco. What's happening? Keep on keeping on, America. Appreciate you, Benny Loco. Appreciate you. Cindy Russell, let's go with the $2 super sticker. Beverly Lowe coming in again. This was my first time that I had to call my bank to make sure that I got my Social Security check. No check from me. No food. That is fucking terrible. You take back this $10 right the fuck now. Like, could you possibly make me look and feel any worse? Like, here's this $10 while I have no food. Ugh, good grief. Anyway, well, Bev, I appreciate it, but cancel it, please. Maybe, definitely cancel that. Use it for yourself, please. That would make me so much more happy if you guys use it for yourself. If that's the position that you're in, and I'm not saying you are, maybe you're just kind of joking around with me, and God, I hope you are. But yeah, don't feel obligated to come out of pocket with anything. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all free. Doesn't cost you a dime to do any of that stuff, and it helps just as much. And I feel like I say this a lot. I feel like I say this a lot. I don't like doing it to people that are in the financial positions not to be able to do it. All right, so let's. Ricky is here. Rachel, thank you so much again. Did you see the dude in the Trump costume on Beacon? I did. There was actually. Did I see what? I think there was 2 or 3 of them I saw. A lot of Putin signs. There was a guy in a Putin mask. It was pretty funny. Let's go. Just got here. I'm starting from the beginning. I wanted to drop in and say hi, boss. Hi, Brian. Love your show. Well, thank you, Laurie. It's very nice of you. Very nice of you. Hope you enjoy it. The first half is atrocious. I'm just going to say I don't know where you're at in the show, but if you would just maybe kindly skip to the second half of the show, that would be great, considering nothing I tried worked in the first half. Yep, I was in Indianapolis. Very large crowd. It was fantastic. Many smaller towns here had rallies too, all over the state. Love you, chat. Marvelous mods and Brian. You guys are fantastic. The community that we've built here and continue to build is just so fantastic. I just only hope one day to be as good a host of the show as you guys are chatters of the show. So I got a long way to go. Melissa, how are you? Thank you for all you do. Bri, you keep us sane, united, and focused, and I only hope that is the truth. That would be such a huge boost and very, very meaningful if that is the case, and I hope it is. So thank you, Melissa, very much for your kind words and your contributions. That's very nice of you. And Ricky sent you an email. Love to you and yours. Hugs right back at you. Yeah, Ricky rounds it out. I do apologize. I did not expect that many people to have contributed. That is incredible. My worst show ever. Right? Maybe I should just come here and fumble on technology every day. Oh, I'm an idiot. But I do appreciate you guys. I really do. You guys kick ass in every single way, shape, and form. You're informed. You're aggressive. You're loud. You're proud. You have the facts on your side, and you're not afraid to fucking speak your mind. Right? And that's why you guys are important to this country. That's why we're going to take this country back. Not the politicians, but the people. The people will force the politicians, the people that they voted into office, to enact the will of the people, are going to take this fucking country back one way or the other. And we can either do it the easy way, or we can do it the fucking hard way, which nobody wants to do. But it's up to Donald Trump. It's up to Elon Musk. It's up to fucking Pete Hegseth and Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance and the rest of the GOP how they want it to go from here. Because yesterday, millions protested peacefully. But if you take away their fucking food, if you take away their savings, if you take their job away, if you take their ability to fucking live in this country, take their health care away, people are not going to fucking stand for it. And I saw rich people yesterday. I saw poor people yesterday. I saw black people yesterday. I saw fucking white people yesterday. I saw Chinese people. I saw people from fucking Germany, right? I saw people from England, Australia, Greece coming out to show their support for us and their displeasure for what's going on in this administration. And it's on you guys, and it's on us to continue to put this pressure on everywhere we fucking can, as loud as we possibly can, as aggressively as we fucking possibly can, every opportunity we get. And slowly but surely, like I said in the other show, these smaller protests, like I said, are going to grow and grow. Remember I said that a couple shows ago? Guess what? That's exactly what's fucking going on. That's exactly what the fuck is going on. And pretty soon, people are going to be pissed off enough where all of these smaller rallies, so-called smaller rallies of 50,000 or more, are going to converge somewhere. And Donald Trump ain't going to fucking like it. I can tell you that much. So thanks to you guys. I'm way over. I do apologize. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching the show and liking and sharing and subscribing and contributing to the channel and becoming a member and checking out the Patreon. You guys are fucking fantastic. I really do appreciate it. So like I said, keep up the fight. Keep your head on a swivel, right? Don't ever let your guard down. Don't ever back down. Be loud, be proud, be confident, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go. We're taking this fucking place back. Oh, Jesus Christ. I got to do the ending here. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm scared. I'm nervous for this. I'm nervous for the ending here. All right, let's go. I actually had a pretty good ending going, and then I realized I had to click it, and I'm scared because it's not going to work. All right, here we go. Keep kicking ass. Keep your head in a swivel. Stay aggressive. Let's fucking go. I'll see you Wednesday. Oh, fuck. Yeah, definitely. Big thank you again to Michael McAndrews. Big thank you again, Bev. Thank you again for your incredibly generous contribution today. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bev. Thank you, everybody who contributed. I appreciate it.
What uranium is, right? This thing called nuclear weapons and other things, like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. Never fight uphill, me boys, never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow, that was a big mistake. He lost his great general, and they were fighting. Never fight uphill, me boys, but it was too late.
To be here tonight. What a beautiful life. Give yourself a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
Thank you, mods. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, mods. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for your service. Keep it in the chats.